Okay, let me click on create storage bucket. So we should first give a proper name to the bucket, guys. So I'm gonna give a name like this. Storage bucket. That's 10. Okay, so this is the name that I have given, and that name is available. This is where we have to select a proper location. We now know that there are three types of locations. One is region, dual region, and multi-region. There is no replication in the region. There will be replication in the dual region to the across two regions, and in a multi-region there will be a replication in multiple regions, and which is having a high availability, sir. In multi-regions, you will be having a high availability, guys. So that is also we can see. Okay, so I am for now the location type I am selecting as a multi-region and clicking on continue, and here we have to select a proper storage class. There are 4 storage classes you can see here, guys. Okay, so one is standard, nearline, cold line, and archive. We now know how to select a proper storage class also. We have seen yesterday, right? So this is what it is. So if you are accessing the file frequently, then you can go for the standard. If you wanted to access a file once in a month, you can go for the nearline, and once in a quarter for cold line, once in a year for the archive. And the cost, and there are 2 costs associated for the each service, right? For this one, there will be a transactional cost, there will be a storage cost. Transactional cost will be very high for the archival storage class, and storage cost will be very high for the standard storage cost. Why? It is because if you wanted to frequently access the data to be highly available, that is the reason the storage cost will be very high. Likewise, if you are accessing once in a year, the data has to be available once in a year. So that is when, that is the reason the storage cost is less. But when you are retrieving the data, so the data transaction cost will be very high. So this is the main difference between the storage classes. So we now know how to select a proper storage class as well. So for now I am selecting a standard, guys, because I wanted to create this bucket for what purpose? Frequently accessed data. So that is the reason I am selecting this. Okay, I am clicking on continue, and this is where we are. This is the place where we are controlling the data inside the buckets, right? When you create a bucket, so you are going to upload some objects inside it. So how to control the access to those objects? This is where we are defining that. So there are 2 things. One is access control with the help of the uniform, access control fine grained. Uniform means there will be uniform access to all the buckets, uniform access to all the objects inside a bucket, and fine grained access to each object inside a bucket. Okay, so uniform means access at rate bucket level, that will be achieved with help of the IAM, identity access management. And one more thing is access at rate object level. Each object you are going to provide access, that can be achieved with the help of the IAM plus ACLS, nothing but the access control list. Okay, so this is what one more thing. Now I'm going to select find vendor now. Okay, click on continue. So the final step is object versioning or retention policy. What is this one, sir? Now I want you to understand. Okay, very simple again. Object versioning. What is this one, sir? You have created a one bucket. Think like this. You have created a one bucket. So this is your bucket. Okay. Once you created a bucket, you have uploaded a file. Think like this. You have uploaded a sales.csv file. Okay. For some purpose, you have used this file. Okay. For data processing purpose, you have used this file. Okay. So for here, you are doing some data processing. Okay. Here you are doing data processing. For that, you need this file. You took this file from here. Okay. And you are doing some activity on it. Okay. Okay. What you have done, sir? You wanted to do some data processing, data cleaning on this sales.csv from this bucket. So you have loaded that file sales.csv from the bucket, nothing but a Google Cloud storage to data processing system. And here it is. Okay. Once you have removed null values, something like this, you have cleaned something like removed null values, removed duplicate values. After that, where you have to store? Again, I wanted to store here, guys. Okay. When you wanted to again store here, when you wanted to again store here, now understand, sir. When you wanted to again store here, now tell me what are the options to you. What are the options? Either you can overwrite this object. Okay. Because it is the same file. Either you can overwrite this object or you can create a one more version of this object. Understand this point, sir. Either you can overwrite this object, okay, like this. For example, you keep this file here and keep it here. That means the file was overwritten. That means what happened, sir? The original file is gone. The new file with the clean data is there. So this is one way of doing it. So this is a object versioning. For this point of time, you don't need to be object versioning. Okay, you don't need to select the object versioning. But sir, I don't want that. What I want is like whenever I do some kind of activity on my file, I wanted to create a one more version of it. What I wanted to do, sir, I wanted to have a one more version of it. Now, if I store this file here, it should be a one more file, one more version, and one more object like this. Sales.csv, it is a 01.csv. Okay, so this is how I can go for the version. So when you enable the object versioning, it will not overwrite the existing object, the original object. It will create a one more object, sir. Okay, sales. Okay, what is this one, sir? Sales 01. 01 is your version of next version of your original file. Okay, what is the main difference between the sales.csv to the sales01.csv? So you have done some processing on top of it. Likewise, if you have taken sales.01 and csv, okay, what happened is like you have taken this file again and you done a one more versioning and you have created a one more file. Okay, if you done one more versioning, that means sales underscore 02.csv. So this is a third version. Likewise, you can go for, if you do any times of a activity on this file, you can go for any number of versions. Okay, so this is what is nothing but a object versioning. Okay, what is the main advantage of the object versioning? You can keep your original files along with the newer versions of this file. Okay, so objective versioning enables you to keep the original file as well as processed files. Okay, modified files. So this is the original file. From this one, this is a modified file, and from this one, this is a one more modified file. From this one more modified file. This is how this is was original and this is modified. This is original and this is modified. This is original and this is modified. So this is how you will be able to create object versioning. But if you don't enable the object versioning, what will happen, sir? all this will be overwritten. So you don't find these versions, you will only find this thing. Okay, all files will be with the same name and it will be overwritten to the overwritten. So this is how you will only be finding a sales.csv. But if you enable the versioning, then you will be able to find like this. But the question is, how many levels of object versioning I can have? Sir, I can go, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How many versions I can enable? Or how many levels of object versioning I can have? So that thing you can actually select in your here. Okay. So what happens? So when you enable the object versioning, what will happen, sir? For restoring deleted or overwritten objects, to minimize the cost of storing the versions, we recommended to limit the number of non-current versions. So, for example, if you enable the object versioning, that means the versioning will already enabled. So maximum versions per object is 1. Okay, or you can select 2, or you can select 5, or you can select anything. And non-concurrent, expire non-concurrent versions after this many days. For example, sir, you select 7. Okay, so for example, what happened? Sorry, you select 4, sir. Okay, you select 4. What happened is like, so 1, this is a 1, 2, 3, and 4. One next the 5 will come, this first original file will be gone, because what will be happening, you select only 4 versions. Okay, so again there will be only 4 versions for that particular object. Older versions will be deleted. Again, if a new more version comes, and the very original file will be deleted. Likewise, you will be able to have. Sir, when it will be deleted? After 7 days. After 7 days. Like this, for example, if you select here 3, sir. Okay, 3 versions. If you select, what will happen is like, so you selected 3, and this is your first version. This is your second version. Third version will be there. Third version. When the third version came, this file is gone. Okay, when the fourth version came, sales.04.csv, because we need only 4 version, right? When the fourth version came, this will be gone, because at a time how many versions you want, you will be having it. Maximum number of versions will be at a time 3 only. So how it will be enabling it? The existing, the very older version will be removed. The recent last 3 versions will be available. So this is how it is going to be managing, guys. Okay, so this is what is called as objective versioning. What is meant by objective versioning, sir? Instead of overwriting the objects, you are going to enable the objective versioning for tracking purpose. Whatever the activity you are doing, right? So for that activity, you can able to track your what kind of activity you have done it. So this is what is the main advantage of objective versioning. Okay, hope you got it. Okay, and one more thing is, final thing is, what was that, sir? Retention policy. Okay, this is either object versioning or retention policy. Let me tell you now. Retention policy. So very simple, sir. Retention policy is very simple. You see here, you have created a bucket. What is this one, sir? You have created a bucket. That bucket, inside that you have uploaded a file called sales.csv. Okay, sales.csv. So if I delete this file, the file will be automatically deleted. Okay, if I try to delete the sales.csv, this file will be automatically deleted. But I don't want to delete this file until some period of time. Okay, as soon as the file is uploaded, until the some period of time, it should not be deleted. That is known as a retention policy. You put a retention period here. Okay, retention period. That retention period, if you select some 5 hours, okay, what will happen is like, if you upload a one file, if you upload a one file to this bucket until 5 hours, that not even a single file will be able to delete it. You cannot delete it. Okay, this is your requirement in the companies, right? For example, if someone is uploading a file, no one will be able to delete the file until some period of time. So this is what is known as the retention policy, sir. You put some retention policy on top of your bucket. So as soon as you delete, as soon as you uploaded a file to the particular bucket, that cannot be deleted. If the retention period is over, you can able to delete it. Okay, that retention period can be a 5 minute, 1 minute, 1 hour, 5 hour, 10 hour, 1 minute, 1 month, 1 year. So it can be anything. Okay, so let us see what is that here. So for preventing the deletion or modification of buckets, objects for a specific minimum duration of time after being uploaded. Okay, so it is also like not only for deletion, sir, for also for modification, two things. Okay, you cannot delete it, you cannot modify it. You don't have a right access here on this file until retention period is over. So you cannot do two things. You cannot delete the file, you cannot modify the file until the retention period is over. So this is what is nothing but a retention policy. You see here. So retain the objects for, like I would say, for 3 minutes. Okay, 3 minutes means 180 seconds. Okay. So I have selected for 3 minutes, sir. Okay. So now I have selected all the things. Object versioning, I don't want it to go for object versioning. I wanted to go for retention policy. Okay, I have selected that one. So access control is standard, storage class is standard, location type is region, and the bucket name is this one. Click on create. Confirm. Okay. Now you see here, sir, bucket storage bucket batch 10 is created. Okay, so you have created a one bucket with all your requirements, sir. For example, let me upload a file. Okay, let me upload a file, guys. Okay, so I am uploading CSV file, that is customers.csv. Okay, one file is uploaded. You see here customers.csv. Okay, now tell me, sir, what is the retention period? Until 180 seconds, I cannot be able to delete it, right? So if I try to delete it, so click on this file. You see here, click on delete. Click on delete. It should not be deleted because it is not 3 minutes. So it should throw an error. See, bucket could not be deleted. You can click on view details. You can see here it is failed because object has a retention policy, cannot be deleted or overwritten. After this time, you can able to do it. So this is what is a retention policy, sir. If someone wanted to delete the file within the retention period, they cannot be able to do it, sir. After 3 minutes, it is only, we have selected only 180 seconds. You can select 1 day, you can select days, and some 10 days, 1 year also you can select. So it is your own choice. This retention policy period is your own choice. For now, for demo purpose, I have selected 180 seconds. Okay. And location region is this one, storage class is this one, and public access is no public access. Sir, what is the main advantage of the Google Cloud Storage? For storing the bucket as well as retrieving the data. Okay. For example, tomorrow, yeah.
After retention period is over, the file will be automatically deleted.
No. It will not be deleted. You can, if you wanted to delete it, you can delete it. Okay. Retention policy is something that retention, my retention policy, the name itself, it is say that this file for sure will be available for this much time. Okay, for sure it will be available. Later point of time, if someone is deleted, it will not be available. If someone is not deleting it, it will be available again. But retention policy, for sure that file will be available, but for that period of time. Okay, after some time, if someone wanted to delete it, it can be they can able to delete it. But within the retention, even though if someone try to delete it, they don't have access. Even though someone try to overwrite it, also they cannot do it. Okay, so this is something.
We can
And
change that retention period, right?
Sorry,
we can change the retention period, right? If you want to delete now.
Yes, we can change it. We can change it. For example, we can go to the protection and we can edit it. Okay, I can edit it. Now it is 180 seconds, right? You can change it to 120 seconds, or you can change it to some days. Okay, 2 days. Okay, anything. Or I don't want it to remove it at all. I don't want a retention policy at all. This you can delete it. Entire retention policy. I don't want a retention policy at all.
Okay.
You can delete it. Yeah. Okay, retention policy is gone. You see here, there is no retention policy option here. For example, if I try to delete it, it will be deleted. Done, deleted. Okay, so this is how. If you wanted to have a retention policy, you can go. If you don't wanted to have a retention policy, you can remove it. Okay, now I have uploaded one more file, sir. It can be deleted automatically because it's easy, because there is no retention policy. That's one thing. And sir, now in our Google Cloud Storage, the main activity that we are doing is like storing the data. And one more thing is retrieving the data. Sir, how I can retrieve this file? Okay, how to retrieve the file? I mean, how I can access this file from some other service? For that one, you click on this particular service. Click on the particular object. You see here, this is the metadata of the object, guys. For that particular object, which object you have selected here? You see region _ country list.csv. This CSV file, this is the metadata of that particular file. Okay, that file is a type is text, size is this one, when it is created, last created, what is the storage class, and public URL is not allowed for authenticated URL. This can be an authenticated URL, sir. This is a GS util URL. So what is the difference between this one and this one? Sir, authenticated URL, if someone wanted to access this CSV file from outside the Google Cloud platform, then they can go for this link. If someone wanted to access this particular file from the inside a Google Cloud Platform services, they can go for this path. Okay, so accessing is very important, sir. It is not that I wanted to store the data. It's not my intention to store the data. My intention is to do some processing on top of it. Tomorrow I want to do some processing. So main intention is, it's not our main idea to just to store the data. Tomorrow we need to access the file. How to access the file? This is the link of that. Inside the Google Cloud, you can use this link. Outside the Google Cloud, you can use this link. Okay, so these are the accessing. Now, sir, the very good question we have to think about is like, okay, I wanted to provide a access to each person. Okay, object level. Anyway, we selected this as a what, sir? Fine grained, right? Okay, so if you click on this configuration, this is a bucket configuration, sir. You see here, this is a bucket configuration. Okay, inside a bucket configuration, this is a metadata of the bucket. So when it is created, when it is updated, what is the location? You cannot edit the location later. replication, you cannot edit it. But storage classes, if you wanted to change it to you can change it to anything. Okay, you can edit the storage class. Okay, sir, this is your bucket if you wanted to access it outside the GCP, inside the GCP. Okay, access control is fine-grained. Tomorrow, if you wanted to make it as a uniform, also you can make it. So now the bucket is what, sir? It is a fine-grained access. The control via fine-grained. Now I wanted to provide a permission to this bucket. Okay, so the access control is what, sir? Fine-grained access. So access to objects can be granted through object access control list. So this is what is this. So now there are two things that I can do. One is grant access at a object entire bucket level. So I will select some account here. Okay. Okay, this is not correct name, sir. Anyway, but I'm sorry. Okay, it seems like it is correct only. I didn't create it, but yeah, you go to the Google Cloud Storage, you select a storage admin or storage object admin, creator or viewer. You select one thing, save it. So, bucket level, you have provided access to that particular person. Who is that person? Somewhere here it is. For this person, you have selected object admin. Bucket level storage object admin. That means he is an object admin of this particular bucket from now on. No, sir. I don't want it to provide a bucket level permissions because I don't want it to provide a bucket level because he is a data engineer. He should be only have access to only this file. Okay. So only this file we have to provide access. Then in that case, you see here, you are inside a CSV file. You click on edit access. Okay. What is that user, sir? Add an entry. And it is a user or a group. You select either group also, domain also, project also, public also. You can select user. And what is that name of him? Saidhul Johnny at gmail.com. Okay. And what kind of access you wanted to provide him? Owner access or reader access. That means viewer access or owner access. You can provide a owner access, can save it. Okay. So this is what is nothing but an object level access. You provide an object wise. Okay, you went to the CSV. That means now you can see who has access to this object. So this person, from now on, this person is having access to this bucket. Okay, so these are the all other things are like this editor, owner, viewer, or these are the common, sir. It is about all about project, and user is my account. So you can see here, right? This is my Google account. But any other account entries, any other access, if you wanted to do, you add an entry, you provide a email name or this one, you select here. Okay, whether it is a owner or reader. Okay, so this is how you are going to edit the access of each object. So object level permissions, you are going to achieve it with this option. Okay, hope you got it, guys. Any questions on this one? Okay,
That
hope
means
you
they
got
can
it.
able to edit the file, everything from file level permission.
So yeah, they can. For example, if you select it is a owner access, they can do it.
Okay, reader means
Modify
just
it,
they
delete
can.
it,
Okay.
modify it, delete it, anything. If I select a reader, he can only view the file.
Okay, but they can't upload the file in that bucket, right?
No. If it
Okay,
is reader, no. But if it is a owner, they can upload it, they can create a new file, they can modify it, they can delete it, anything. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So this is how you are going to achieve a object level permissions. As I also told you, bucket level permissions can be achieved with the help of what, sir? IAM. You go to the, this is your bucket. You go to the permissions directly. Bucket level permissions means you are inside a bucket only. You are not going to select anything. So you click on grant access. This is your IAM. Okay, this is you just click on grant access. You select that particular principal or nothing but an account, and you assign a role. Okay, so this is how you are going to achieve a bucket level permissions, and that way you are going to achieve a object level permissions. Clear?
Yes.
Is it clear, guys?
Yeah, clear.
Hope you guys are with me. So this is how two things. Now everything is good, sir. Now I have successfully created a bucket and I have uploaded an object. I selected a retention policy. I know how to select a retention policy. Now I know how to provide a permissions to the bucket level as well as object level also. And I know how to access the file with the help of the outside the GCP, how to access it, inside the GCP, how to access it also. I know that, sir. And I think all the things are here. Okay. So this is all about storage, Google Cloud Storage, creating a bucket from the console. Okay. If you guys have any questions, you can ask me, sir. Otherwise, what I will do is like now, I will try to tell you how to create a bucket with the help of the Cloud Shell. Okay. That is very simple, sir. You don't go to this thing if I say that thing because code is very simple. Okay. Yeah. I think no one is having any questions, sir. Now that means we now know that how to create a bucket with the help of a cloud console. Now let me activate the cloud shell. Sir, we now know how to activate the cloud shell also. We go to the um, top right corner and we click on this activate cloud shell. Yeah, someone is asking a question.
Sir, can you just give me one example for ACL? ACL, how you are creating, sir? Through ACL?
So I'll go to this one, bucket. I'll click on the file. ACL is nothing but object level permissions, right? So object level permissions. What does that mean, sir? I have to first select my object. I will select my object. Permission means access right. Click on one. Add an entry. Add a entry, username, and whether it is a reader or owner. Click on show. That's it. Done.
Only two permissions, a reader or a owner?
Yeah, there are only two permissions. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So now we will see how to create a bucket with the help of the WhatsApp, with the help of the command line tool. Okay, let me activate. So let me go to this first page. Sorry. Okay, this first page. You see here, I can activate the Cloud Shell, right? Okay, click on this activate button. So Cloud Shell will be activated here, sir. Okay, so even though when you are inside a Cloud Shell also, the very first thing that you have to do is like you have to be selecting a proper project, sir. Okay, first thing, G Cloud config set, sorry, config set project. Okay, the project you see here, the same code. I have not done anything, sir. The same code I copied and pasted here. Okay, I don't want it to do so. So I copied and pasted here. What is my project ID? I select my this one project. I select my project ID from here, copy it and paste it here. Click enter. That means it is going to we are going to authorize it. So that means the project will be changed now. Okay, updated property. So from now on, this is the project will be shown here. Okay, this is our project ID where we are working. Okay, so once you selected a proper project, now you have to create a bucket. Sir, very simply, if you wanted to create a bucket, you don't want to worry about all of those things, then just click on commands are gsutil commands, sir. Okay, why they are calling gsutil commands, I will tell you. Okay, create a bucket. Not only create a bucket, sir. So if you wanted to interact with the command line tool and wanted to create a bucket or object or whatever the thing inside a Google Cloud Storage, all those commands are starting with the GS util, sir. All the commands will start with the GS util. That's the reason they're going to call it as a GS util commands. Okay, all the commands will start with the GS util. So that's the reason GS util commands. So what does this GS util commands imply? GS util commands are nothing but a GCS to interact with the GCS. Okay, interact with the GCS from the Cloud Shell. So the GS util commands, all the commands will begin with the GS util, sir. So that's the reason. Now, if I wanted to create a bucket, no worries about that, sir. I do not know about the commands I have already listed here. You have my notes, you see here. So how to create a bucket and bucket properties in the shell? Select a proper project first thing, and after that GS util commands. Okay, we already know what is the GS util commands now. GS util commands are the ones, when I say GS util, you are going to interact with the Google Cloud Storage from the Cloud Shell. So that is what is GS util commands. Now you see here, sir, if I wanted to create a bucket, somewhere there will be a create a bucket. You see here at the end, create a bucket. What is this command, sir? Okay, GS util MB GS slash colon slash slash bucket name, we have to provide it. Okay, I will go here. GS util MB GS slash bucket name, I have to provide it, right? It should be a very unique name. We already know. If I, for example, if I give bucket /1, do you think it will be creating? Because the bucket name is already taking, right? So you see here, bucket 1 is already exist. Someone has, because it should not, it should be a globally unique name. So far, no one has used this name. So that's the reason bucket 1 might have been taken by some other people in the Google Cloud Storage, right? So that's the reason you cannot able to create it. For that one, now I will come up with a very unique name, that is demo bucket resources. Okay, so this is the bucket name I have given, sir. You see here, if I, as soon as I click on enter, you will be able to see at the top the bucket is started creating. You will be able to see here. Okay, so if I refresh it here, see here, sir, demo bucket resources created just now. Okay, very simple. By default, it will take by default location type, by default storage class. Okay, by default public access are subjected to ACLS. By default fine grained access, protection is none, all of these things. So by default options, it will take it. No, sir, I don't wanted it to take a default actions. I wanted to create with a different options, right? So for example, I wanted to select a proper storage class. Sir, I wanted to provide a bucket location also. Sir, I want to provide a what I would say retention policy also. You can also create a bucket like that. Okay, so this is something like this. GS util MB. Okay, you hyphen mention P, the project ID you mention here. Okay, all the things if you wanted to mention. So this is one thing. And the storage class. So hyphen C, you mention the storage class. So the storage class you wanted to do is like a nearline. Okay. And if you wanted to select a location, hyphen L, the location is you wanted to select a multi-region. Okay, and the retention policy, I think it's PRC. I don't remember, sir, but it is retention policy. You select 1 minute, guys. I don't know. I forgot actually how to put a retention policy in this one. Retention period or something like that. I forgot. One minute, guys. Somewhere I forgot. bucket with the retention policy in Cloud Shell. Okay, that I will tell you, sir. Okay, that is fine. And if you wanted to go for uniform bucket level access or fine grained bucket level access, that is also you can say. So if it is a uniform, you can just mention uniform. Okay, why it's not coming? Hyphen uniform bucket level access. So this is what. Sir, if you don't understand this L, you can also mention like location. So that is also fine. Okay, so if you don't understand, sir, I don't understand this one, hyphen location also you can mention. Location, or if it is you don't understand the storage class, then you can also mention hyphen storage class. Okay, is equals to, you have, I think we have to mention equals to. Whenever we mention hyphen, we have to mention equals to. Equal to. Likewise, we mention project, right? So we will also mention hyphen project equals to. Okay. So this is how MB. We mentioning project storage class. Location spelling is wrong. Location. Okay. As well as uniform bucket level access. So I think all of the things are here. So what is the final thing that we have to mention, sir? Bucket name we have to mention, right? So I will mention GS // the bucket name I wanted to mention is something I do not know. I do not wanted to create this something a dummy. I will create it, sir. Later I will delete it. Okay, enter. Something wrong? Okay. Key location minus L directly I can use. Okay, you can use directly. This is what he is saying, sir. You can directly mention like this. Okay, instead of selecting all of these things. So let me just copy this thing and I will go to my notepad and we will try to write here and come here and try to do the same thing, right? Okay, if I wanted to create a full-fledged bucket, okay, let me increase the size so that you will be able to see here, guys. Okay, 16. Now, so instead of mentioning the entire bucket, he is saying that use only -p. Okay, -p, that is project ID. Storage class -c, that is nearline. Location -l, multi-region. Uniform bucket level access.
Now it's showing retention also. Can you add it?
Yeah, we can also now put a retention policy also. Now retention and time. So this I will mention here as somewhere retention. The time instead of time, what I would say, some 10. By default, it will take some 10 seconds, I believe. Okay, 10 seconds. Okay, this bucket name, I will put it at the front, sir. I don't want it here. Okay, I will go here and I will mention create this bucket, and on this project, on the storage class is this one, and the location is this one. Okay, and the bucket access is uniform bucket level access, and retention policy is this one. I'm not sure how to provide this 10 seconds or just 10 is enough, but we will see. GS util MB. Let me copy this thing. Where is that? Let me clear the window. Let me provide it here. MB does not support file / URLs. You mean GS? What does that mean? I have provided that only, right? MB does not support file.
Otherwise, we can create the bucket in the existing this one demo. Like
No, we can only create a bucket. It's only the bucket. We cannot create a something like this because it shouldn't show like this. Let me try to do it one more time. Okay, instead of this one, what I will do. We can also use one more command also, but I will also try that G cloud storage buckets create. This is also we can use it. Let's try that as well. There's some problem. So retention, something wrong with the retention, guys. Did you mean retention period? Yes. So what I will do, I will remove that retention now. For now, I don't want it to worry about it. Okay, 1 minute, guys. Let me create a bucket which very simply. I don't want to worry about these things. Okay, I think so. Let me update it here first. Okay, GS util MB. I have given a project ID. So this is my project ID. -P. I have given project ID. -C. I have given storage class. -L. I have given a multi-region. So let me remove all of these things. 1 minute. So let me just copy this thing and try to create a bucket. MB does not exist. I don't know what's wrong with it. You mean to use a GS / URL? I know. 1 minute, guys. Let me see what is this error. This is the first time I'm seeing it. Use right. We created a bucket with the GS there. So it is asking to throw this support to the domain URL. Let's see what is this error. Okay. So in that case, I will do like this. He's saying that you use this at the end. We actually created at the end only first. Yeah. So this is what it's trying to create it. Location constant is not valid. Okay. So the location what we have mentioned is multi-region. In that case, I can select any location. That is also fine. So, but now this is how we create it. Okay, got it right. So let me show you one more time. For example, if I wanted to use this particular code only to create a bucket, okay. So what we will do, I will go to the location. Okay, instead of multi-region, what I will do, I will select some region, sir. Okay, US-east-1 or just east 1. So it will create a bucket inside that location. Done. So if I refresh it, it will be created here. Okay, see here, something like we have created a bucket name. This is our bucket name, right? Some QWERTY, something like this. So this is what is a bucket. It is created inside a region. This is a region. Okay. So this is how you can able to create a bucket from the Cloud Shell as well. Okay. So you have created a bucket from the Cloud Shell. So this is not our just creating a bucket, right? Sir, for example, if I wanted to delete a bucket, what I can do, sir? Okay. For that, all the activity, what thing you wanted to do, I have listed out all the commands here, sir. Creating a bucket, this is how you create a bucket. Sir, if you wanted to delete a bucket also somewhere, delete rm, and you can just mention delete means rm. Okay, you can just mention gsutil, sorry, gsutil rm. If you wanted to delete this particular bucket, right, copy this thing, gs / this is the one. So enter, the bucket will be deleted. Or else matched, did you mean to rm minus r? Yes, sorry, rm minus r whenever you wanted to create it. Removed. So you, if I refresh it, you don't find that particular file here, particular bucket here. Bucket is deleted. So you can create a bucket, delete a bucket. No, sir, I don't want to create a bucket and delete a bucket. For example, just now I have created. So earlier we have created a demo bucket resources, right? In this one, I do not have any files. Okay, what I wanted to do is like, I wanted to copy one file from this bucket to that bucket. Okay, what I wanted to do, sir, I wanted to copy one file from this bucket to that bucket. For example, it is this file, sir. Okay, java file.csv.js. This file I wanted to copy from this bucket to that bucket. Okay, for that one, I'll just go here. Okay, first thing I want you to understand is like copying a file. Okay, copy file. So somewhere there will be a copy. So this is cp gs util cp. You wanted to use the existing path and new path, right? Gs util cp. What is the path of that existing and the new path? Okay. I'm going to do what, right? So gs util copy. I wanted to copy. Which files are you wanted to copy? This is a file. So this file, right? gs util inside this bucket. This is a file I wanted to copy. Copy this path. Okay. To where you wanted to copy, sir? I wanted to copy to. So this bucket, right? Batch 10. This bucket I wanted to copy. The file has to come here. Okay. You copy this thing. Okay. Now you see here ds//v, enter this one. And while copying also, I wanted to create one file. So it is a Java folder. I wanted to create one folder. So I created one Java folder. Inside that, it has to create that Java file.js has to be moved. Okay. In that case, you see here, sir, it is moved. Operation completed. Copying what's this file to the mentioned bucket. So this file. So if I go here, and now I do not have anything. If I refresh it, I'll be able to see one folder here, Java folder. So Java folder I will see. Inside that I should see the file name. Okay, Java file.cs. Okay, so this is how you can also copy, move a file, delete a file. You can also, sir, I don't want this file now. If you wanted to delete it, you can also delete a file. So any activity, whatever the thing you wanted to do, you can able to do from the Google Cloud Storage, Google Cloud Shell as well. Okay. Okay, guys. Any questions?
Sir, in one bucket we can store as many files,
Yes. Any number of files you can store. Yes. Sorry. Yeah.
While creating a bucket, it will take automatically, right, sir? That multi-region like and all.
This will when you
using Cloud Shell we can edit, right, sir?
I mean, if you wanted to edit it, there can be a way, but the thing is like the code becomes very complex.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions, guys? So this is how you actually go through I mean, you actually wanted to interact with the Google Cloud Storage from the Cloud Shell, there is a command for each and everything, guys. Will be a command for each and everything. What you just have to do is like you just have to make yourself comfortable with the commands. That's it. Okay. The common commands I have listed. List all the buckets. For example, if I wanted to list all the buckets, okay, gsutil ls. So it will list out all the buckets inside my Google Cloud Storage. You see here, these are the buckets. These are the buckets. If I wanted to list all the files inside a bucket, ls, inside a bucket, for example, I will take this bucket. Okay, it will list out all the files inside that bucket. You see here, this is one, and there is a folder. Okay, this is a folder. If you wanted to list out all the files in one more bucket, so anything can be done here. If you wanted to list it out, okay, download a file. Sir, I wanted to download something. You can download it. You can upload a file. You can, if you wanted to view a file, sir, I wanted this file to be viewed. Okay, so I wanted to view a file. So gsutil cat is the file. Cat is a command to view the file, sir. What is the file you are viewing? So this file, which one? Regions underscore country underscore list .csv. You wanted to see that, you mention cat command. That data will be shown here. You see that data is shown here. Okay, the data is not in a correct way, but it is like this is how you can see it. Okay, so these are the things that you can all do, guys. Okay, what you have to do is like create a bucket from the console, create a bucket from the Cloud Shell, try to do some activities from both of the ends. So that is where you are going to add. So if you wanted to have more commands, gsutil help, you can also click on help. You will get some help here. So what are the commands inside the gsutil? You will be able to see all of the things here. Okay, so for example, moving an object. Make an object. Make means create an object. MB is a command to create an object. MV for move an object or rename an object. So likewise, RB remove the buckets. RM remove the objects. Okay, so all the things, update, versioning if you wanted to do. So ACLS, anything if you wanted to, all the commands are here, sir. The only thing is that we have to make yourself comfortable. But sir, what you suggested, do we have to go all of these commands? No. No one will be learning all of these commands. The only thing is like it's important for us to know how to create a bucket, how to delete a bucket, how to create a folder, how to delete a folder, how to create an object, how to upload an object, how to download it. Those commands are enough. You need not to worry about all of the things. Okay. Again, you just have to know if something goes.
So what is the purpose, sir? What is the purpose of object lifecycle, sir?
Sorry, object of?
Object lifecycle, sir.
So object lifecycle, yes. Yeah. So this is something kind of a rule, sir. Whenever you wanted to add some rule. So for example, like think like this, after some days, you wanted to make your storage class, standard storage class to nearline. In that case, you can create a rule here. Okay. So set a storage class to nearline after something. Set a storage class to cold line. So that kind of activities you can do it. Okay. For example, if I click on continue, on what basis? On age. If I mention age, how many days? After 30 days, I want this bucket, whatever the bucket which is there, right? That is will be set from standard storage class to nearline. Okay. So that kind of a rules you can add it here. Okay, this kind of a rules you can add. If you wanted to add it, you can go for the object lifecycle. Yeah. You can also read it out here. Lifecycle rule lets you apply some actions to a bucket when certain conditions are met. For example, switching your objects to colder storage classes when they reach or pass a certain age. Okay, so this is how it is going to take. Yeah. Any other questions, guys?
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, sir. Good morning. Actually, today is my first session. So may I know the duration and all for this course details?
Yes, the course duration will be 45 hours, sir. It's going to take up to close to 2 months. And the course content we have already explained. If you need a course content, You can connect with the team. The course content is already displayed. We are going to high level if you wanted to understand. Sir, if you wanted to understand high level course content, I would like to tell you here. These are the topics that we are covering, sir. Data lakes, Google Cloud Storage, RDBMS solutions, Cloud SQL and Cloud Spanner, data warehousing, BigQuery, NoSQL databases, Bigtable, ingestion tool, PubSub, streaming data ingestion, data processing. We have a data proc, data flow, data fusion. We are covering all of these things. Workflow orchestration tool. We are covering the Airflow and IAM as well as cloud functions, cloud scheduler. So all of these concepts we are covering high level. Okay. So topic wise, if you wanted to see the details, you can see here.
BigQuery will be deep dive or just this one after loading the files?
No. It's almost a deep dive only, sir. Almost all the things like nested fields, how to work with the data processing concept.
Queries by using the SQL queries also we can check it. Huh?
Yeah, yes. From SQL queries, some loops also I will try to help you on that as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so this one, and at the end we are not at the end, guys. Whenever we are talking about Airflow, I will be talking about Airflow project itself. Okay, orchestration with help of this. So we will be having a real-time project as well. So whenever we are talking about that particular tool, we will be having a scenario-based projects as well as real-time projects as well. I am going to explain it here. Yeah.
Looker
So
is
these
coming.
are the main concepts that we are covering. Yeah. Sorry.
Looker or Studio like.
No, sir. This is we are not covering the visualization components here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you
Okay,
share
any
the
other-
notes? We got the recordings, but we don't have notes.
Sorry.
We didn't receive any notes. Only the recordings has been shared.
Yes. So I have not shared the notes. It's because I want everyone to be registered. Once everyone is registered, I will directly just send a link so that you will be able to access it. Maybe from Monday onwards, I will be able to provide you access, sir. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions?
One question. Is this all this cover in big data? Means it's a part of data engineer or what?
It's a part of big data course, sir. It's a whatever the thing that we are focusing on is a big data. That means a data engineer, big data developer, all of these things. Okay. It's more of a big data.
And what all things comes under data engineer? Means all this comes.
Yes, all of this comes as a data engineer. You are going to cover all of these things only. Yeah. So when you are working in a big data projects, in a flow, you will be working in almost all of these things. When you are working in a data engineering, either you will be working on only BigQuery or only one Cloud SQL, something like that. But when you are working in an entire big data projects, all this almost will come into the picture. Yep. Any other questions, everyone? Okay. So that is it, guys. If you guys have any questions, you can ask me. Otherwise, we can wind up the session. So tomorrow we will meet and we will try to see all. I will try to tell you how to, recapitulate all the Google Cloud storage, and I will tell you how to create an account. That's we will end this week, guys. Hope you are learning something from this week. Yeah. Thank you all. Yeah, someone is asking how to copy multiple files from one bucket to another bucket. That can be possible, sir. I will tell you. Okay, tomorrow you make me remember this question, so I will tell you. That's very simple. Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you all. Complete your registration, sir, so that there won't be any, interruption during the classes. Yeah. Thank you all. Hello everyone. Welcome to the session today. Yes. Hello everyone. Good morning. Welcome to the session today. Hope you guys are doing good. So let me just recapitulate what we have discussed in the Google Cloud Storage, and we will see the next topic. Okay. So if you remember, if you can see my screen, I have shared my screen, guys. Hope you guys all can see my screen clearly. Okay. So we now know that what is a Google Cloud Storage. Google Cloud Storage is one of the data lake available in the GCP. And what we can do here, sir, what is this actually? It is an elastic object storage service. Elastic means it is the elastic name suggests that it is a scalability. Okay. So any amount of data you can store, that is what is meant by elastic. A service for storing your objects in the Google Cloud. Object is an immutable piece of data consisting of any file of any format. Okay. What is meant by object, sir? Object is nothing but an immutable piece of data consisting of any file of any format that you can store it here in the Google Cloud Storage. And you store these objects. You store these objects in the containers. What is meant by a container here? Terminology for container is nothing but a bucket. So you create a bucket. Inside that you keep your objects. Objects are nothing but a piece of data of any file of any format. Okay. And one more thing we have also seen. It allows worldwide storage and retrieval, guys. Okay. So of any data at any time. Okay. And these are the use case scenarios that the Google Cloud Storage is usually used in the companies. So serving website content, for example, if there is a website content is there, it is going to be stored in the Google Cloud Storage, and storing the data for archival and disaster recovery. Distributed data, large data objects used in via direct download. For example, usually Google Cloud Storage, for example, nowadays you might have seen Netflix and all of those things, right? Most of the movies are usually stored in the data lakes only, but Netflix is actually using the Amazon S3 buckets. Yes, Amazon S3 bucket is very similar to the GCS case. So if you wanted to see a similar service, for example, GCP, we have a GCS, Google Cloud Storage as a data lake. Okay, if you go to the AWS, okay, they have three buckets. It is acting as a data lake there. And if you go to Azure, they call it as a blob storage. Blobs. What is mean by blobs? A blob is nothing but again file. The terminology itself it is like that, sir. Okay. Here in the GCP we call it as a object. Here in the Azure they call it as a blob. Blob is nothing but a file of any format. S3 they usually call it as a files only. Okay. So this is how if you go on premises, what is that, sir? HDFS, Hadoop distributed file system. Okay, so this is one thing. So these are all acting as a data lakes in different environments. Okay, earlier we used to use on-premises HDFS is a data lake, but nowadays the cloud platform we are using cloud platforms and GCS S3 buckets blob storage is a data lake. So what are these data lakes? Data lakes are mainly responsible for storing the data and retrieving the data at any time, at any cost, at any amount of data we can store here. So this is what is all about the Google Cloud Storage. And later we have seen how to create a bucket, sir. To create a bucket, we have to provide a global unique name, the location, and storage classes. What about this location, sir? Location has three categories. By either we can go for the region or dual region and multi-region. At any cost, if you don't want it to lose your data, you can go for the multi-region, and the multi-region very low latency, and replication will be available in the largest regions. I mean largest area, you can say. In a dual region, it is also having a replication, a latency also less, but the thing is like only for the replication will be only available in 2 regions. Dual region means only 2 regions. But if you go to the region, there is no replication at all. The data will be only available in one single region. If the failover happens in this region, then there is a data loss will be happening. So this is what about region, dual region, and multi-region. And we have also seen the 4 storage classes. One is standard, nearline, cold line, and archive. Okay. So when we are using the standard for frequently accessing data, and nearline for access once in a month, a cold line once in a quarter, and the archive once in a year. What is the advantage of using the storage classes? In terms of a pricing, you can see here, if you don't select a proper storage class, you are misusing the storage classes. So we select a proper storage class. Standard is for frequently accessed data, so that you can able to, even though the storage cost is higher, but the transaction cost is less. Okay, frequently accessing, and the data will be highly available. Okay, so we will be getting some discount here. Like that for the archive, for accessing the data once in a quarter, the transaction cost is very high, but the storage cost is very less. Again, you get an advantage of storage cost here. So that is how we have to select a proper storage class. Okay, and the storage class is an editable option. Even though once you have created a bucket, you can even change it later as well. So that is also we have seen. Okay, so when we talk about all the features of the Google Cloud Storage, we have all of these things, guys. Regional buckets, object to change notification. If you wanted to go like, we can have a ACLS, object versioning is there, online import, offline import, object lifecycle management. So these are all the features of a GCS. Once you create a bucket, this is a metadata of the bucket, guys. We have seen this already. Okay, once you create an object, this is a metadata of an object. So when you upload this, for example, here you see a size, you see a type, you create a time, you see a storage class, and all of these things. Okay, so you can also edit the metadata, edit the permissions if you wanted to do. Okay, and you can see here objects. Object is an individual piece of data in the form of a file. No limit on the number of objects that you create in a bucket. Okay, this is some question yesterday some people have asked me, right? So there is no limit on number of objects that you can create in a bucket. Objects have no hierarchical relationship. One object to the another object, there is no hierarchical relationships, sir. Okay, and objects can have a different versions as well with the help of the object versioning. Every object has associated storage class, right? This will be inherited from the bucket. So for example, you create that bucket is having a standard storage class. You keep a file, that file will also be having the same storage class. So this is how it is. Versioning needs to be enabled to maintain the old versions. Okay. Yep. And this is a object metadata. There are fixed keys, there are custom keys. What does that mean, sir? You see here, storage class, content type. These are something are like fixed data, and you cannot be edited. And there is some information which can be edited. And object lifecycle management. What? Yesterday I have told you, object lifecycle management is something like you can create some kind of a rule, such as like, for example, so far you are using a bucket for the standard, but after 30 days you wanted to be make it as a nearline, so that you will get some benefit of the cost. So for that reason, you can create a rule automatically. Backend it will be happening once the 30 days is happening. That particular bucket will be converted from the standard to the nearline or cold line, whatever it is. So such kind of actions, if you have, you can go for the object lifecycle management, guys. Okay. And if you wanted to delete a bucket after some days, you can also do that. Such kind of a rules also you can able to do it. Okay, you can see here, you delete an object 30 days or something like that, after 40 days, after 60 days. So such kind of this is your action, but when it is the condition, based on the condition, it will be the action will be done. Okay, this is one thing. And working with the Google Cloud Storage, as I told you, most of the times console as well as this is our GSP. This is a serializer, one line tool, nothing but a shell. Okay, and people also can be used work with the client libraries to interact with the Google Cloud Storage. Okay, and REST APIs also we can able to use to work with the to interact with the Google Cloud Storage. Okay, so these are the options that we have. We have seen how to create a bucket from the console. We have also seen how to create a bucket from the Cloud Shell, right? Cloud Shell is what? It's a command line tool. Your console is nothing but a web interface. Okay, so these are the common commands, simple commands that I have given. So for the bucket, if you want, these are the bucket commands. Sir. If you want to list all your buckets, GST, you can go to the Cloud Shell and you can use this one, so that it will list out all the bucket names. If you wanted to create a bucket, you can use this. Okay, MB, and this is a location. This is your bucket name. If you wanted to provide access to your bucket, so this is a IAM policy that you, IAM granting access to one of the user, that is google.com. So what kind of access? We are providing a role to them. So for this particular email address, we are providing a object creator, object viewer role on this bucket. Okay, so this kind of things also we can able to do from the Cloud Shell, guys. So you wanted to provide a roles, or you wanted to assign a roles to one of the user and on some bucket, you can also do that with the help of the IAM. If you wanted to delete a bucket, you go and use this particular thing. Okay, normally if you wanted to create a bucket using a project ID, storage class, bucket location, retention policies, and you at the end you mention the bucket name. So this is a code for entire thing. Okay, and after that, for we will see also few comments related to the object as well, sir. If you wanted to upload an object from your machine to the bucket, so this is something. This is from desktop to your storage bucket. You can also download objects from your bucket, from bucket to your desktop, and a list of the all contents in the bucket. You can also use gsutil and the particular bucket name, so that it will provide all the list of the files inside that bucket. If you wanted to make your objects publicly available, you can also apply a IAM rule on top of it. If you wanted to delete an object, you use this one. Okay, so these are the commonly used bucket commands as well as object commands that we have seen here. This is a commonly used bucket command. These are the commonly used object commands, guys. Okay, so these are the general guidelines, sir. General guidelines. Every new, so you can say best practices. You can also think of like that. Every new object inherits a storage class of a bucket. Okay, so whenever you create a file inside a bucket, that bucket will follow the storage class of an sorry. Whenever you create a one file in a bucket, that file will inherit the storage class of a bucket. That means we have seen this already. Okay, for example, you have this bucket. Okay, and if you upload a one file to this bucket, this file will follow the storage class of this bucket. This is what is that mean. Okay, and the bucket storage class can be changed. Editable option. Cannot change the location, multi-regional, regional, or vice versa. So this is something that we cannot change it. Once you create a bucket with the help of one location type, after that you cannot edit this option. This is not an editable option. Okay, when a storage class of a bucket is changed, the existing objects keep their storage class. This is one important point, sir. Okay, so you have this bucket. So far you are using this bucket as standard. Inside that you have file 1. Okay, this file 1 be standard only. Okay, but tomorrow you change this option, bucket option, from storage to the nearline. This will not change, but from tomorrow if you upload one more file to, that will be having a nearline. So this is how it is. When a storage class of a bucket is changed, the existing objects keep their storage class. Existing object file 1 is your existing object here, sir. That will keep their storage class, existing storage class. But a new files from now on will have a new storage class. So that is how the answer of that question. Okay. So this is a question in one of the yes interviews, not interview, yes exam, associate cloud engineer exam. They have asked this question. Okay. So please be attentive on this thing, guys. When a storage class of a bucket is changed, does the existing buckets or does the existing objects keep their storage class or not? Yes. Existing objects will keep their original existing storage class. From now on, whatever the new file you are uploading, that will be having new storage class. So this is how one thing. And there is a per project rate limit to bucket creation and deletion approximately per request every 2 seconds. So in every 2 seconds, for example, in a 2 seconds, you can only create one bucket, you can only delete one bucket. After 2 seconds, you can do anything. So this is kind of a limitation you can think of, sir. In a 1 second, I wanted to create a bucket and delete a bucket, that cannot be happening. At a 1 second, every 2 seconds, there is only one request. Okay. Maximum size file for individual objects to be stored in the Google is GB. This is one of the yes question again. Okay. Associate cloud engineer exam, they have asked this question. So far we have seen any number of files, any amount of data we can store. Yes, any amount of data we can store in a bucket. But when you create it, if you are seeing this file, one particular file inside a bucket can maximum having a 5 TB. A file of maximum having 5 TB. It should be less than 5 TB, sir. One more file also can be 5 TB, but again that file should also be 5 TB, lesser than the 5 TB. Any number of files you can store here of less than 5 TB, sir. This is one limitation that we have in the Google Cloud Storage buckets. A file cannot be more than 5 TB storage. Okay. Any number of files you can store here, but a file, if I talk about, yeah.
What about bucket size, sir?
Bucket sizes, there is no restriction.
Okay.
Yeah. Only the file is having a restriction, that is 5 TB, less than 5 TB. Okay. So built-in caching is available already in the Google Cloud Storage. We need to worry about it. While creating a bucket, put retry logic in your code to handle name collision. So okay. So this is something that when you wanted to create a bucket from your client libraries, okay. So you have to put a retry logic so that your bucket will not be having a problem, because whenever we try to create a bucket with the help of one name, if that name is not available, what we will do, sir? We will try to give up one more name. But when the client library, like one Python code or a Java code, wanted to create a bucket, so what happens is, like, if that particular name of the bucket is already available, the Java code or Python code will fail. So you put a retry logic so that it will try to create one more name and create one more bucket with that name. So that is how it works. Okay, so this is something that I have come up from my experience. Don't use your IDs, email addresses, project names, project numbers, any specific information in bucket names, because bucket names are visible. Okay, a bucket name is a globally visible option, sir. Don't put your sensitive information or P2 information as your bucket name, so that it will be visible to all. So try to come up with a proper unique name according to your business requirement, not as per your project name, not as per your project number, not as per your name, your friend's name, like that. Okay. So this is how all the general guidelines about the bucket creation, sir. Finally, final point, sir, securing the Google Cloud storage. This is also we have seen with the help of what, sir? Two things. One is IAM, one more is ACLS. IAM is nothing but the identity access management. From Monday on, we are starting this topic, sir. Very important topic. Before entering into any service, we should understand what is the identity, what is the access, what is how we are going to manage the identity and access. Okay, ACLS is access control list. Okay, it will be a part of IAM. Don't worry about that. So what is it is saying, sir? So that bucket is having some files inside that. So that is what we are calling as the objects. So if you wanted to manage the access of an entire bucket, you can go to the IAM. This is a symbol of IAM, sir. Okay. This is IAM. And if you wanted to manage the individual buckets as well as total entire buckets, this is ACLS. Both ACLS, nothing but access control list. When you select object fine-grained version, right? Fine-grained access control, it will we can able to access both object access as well as the entire bucket access. So this is what is all about securing the Google Cloud Storage. Okay, what kind of a policies that you can put, sir? Reader, writer, owner, bucket roles. Okay, from the IAM also you can able to put those things. From the ACLS also you can able to put those. If it is the object level, you will be able to put these things. If it is the bucket will be able to put these things. Bucket level is IAM, object level is ACLS. Done. Any questions, sir, so far? So with this one, we have completed our Google Cloud Storage from end to end, sir, with even with the practical things as well, I believe. If you guys have any questions on the Google Cloud Storage, you can ask me.
In real time,
I will try to help you on this. Yeah.
In real time, we will create the bucket, or the DevOps team they will create the bucket.
Sorry.
In real time, we do have the permission for creating the bucket.
Oh, of course, we have a permission to create a bucket. It's
Okay.
not that I manually create a bucket. What I will do, for example, is like, for example, you are working in a sandbox environment. You wanted to try it out. You can create your own bucket, and you keep your own files, and you work with the data processing. You work with the BigQuery loading. So anything you can do it. Yes. And in the real time, one more is, for example, sir, do I have access to the prod environment creatable? Can I create a bucket inside it? If you wanted to do that manually, we never do that, but we will try to create a bucket with help of the Terraform or something. So that Terraform is storing some kind of a files inside that. So that is how one more thing. But usually if it is a sandbox environment or it is your pilot project where you wanted to try it out, yes, you can able to create. In the companies, they are allowing you to create a bucket. Yes, we can do that. It's not that DevOps team will take care of it. DevOps team does not need it. It's a very simple thing. Okay. Storage of a bucket is very simple. Yeah.
So what is offline import and what is online import?
So if you wanted to, connect it to your SDKs and import the data, that is one thing. Or you are in the Google Cloud Storage and import the data, that is also one more thing. So that is how we do.
SDK means I'm not.
SDK is nothing but a software development kit, sir. Usually, so some people wanted to load the data to the Google Cloud Storage from their local machine, and the data is very huge but the Cloud Shell is having only the 5 GB persistent disk, right? Disk storage is 5 GB only in the Cloud Shell. If I wanted to store a 10 GB of file inside my Cloud storage, in that way, Cloud Shell is not useful for me. In that case, what I will do, I will download a Cloud SDK. I can upload that. So that is one way of doing it. That is what we call online and offline. And one more thing is like there are transfer appliances. This is one more important thing. What is transfer appliances? We will see in our upcoming classes, but I wanted to give you understanding. So for example, sir, you have a here that is think that some 10 GB. Okay, you wanted to move 10 GB to your GCS, Google Cloud Storage. Okay, you use in the in the Google Cloud Storage, we have a transfer appliances and we have a transfer services. Okay, What this will do is automatically you will connect it to this source, you connect it to your destination as your GCS. This will take care of transferring the data from this local machine to your GCS bucket. So this is also we have. So this is what we are calling as the online offline inputs. Any amount of data we can store, we can upload it. If it is a simple file, we manually do it. If it is a large file, we can provide it to the transfer services. Any other questions, guys?
Okay, there is no limit for data to transfer.
There's no limit. We can store any amount of data. Yes. So this is how, because we are came to a situation, or we are in a technology right now where almost all the limitations we have removed. For example, when we were working in a 10 years before, 15 years before, when I started my career, what happened is like we used to have on-premises things. For example, if I wanted to maintain cluster, if I wanted to store the data, what I have to do is like I have to a company has to maintain its own data center. A company has to manage all its storage equipment, all of those things, right? So if they wanted to store an extra data, they have to go and buy an extra equipment for the storage.
Right.
Now that is something, managing that data is not easy again. So for example, even though I plugged in everything and all the connections are good, but if I wanted to retrieve the data, it takes a lot of time for me. Okay, and loading the data from one storage device to one more storage device also, it was taking a lot of time at that time. Now from that situation we came to a situation that with even very less time we can able to even store some petabytes of the data in the Google Cloud storage as well. So that's how we are in a situation. Okay, so there is no point of talking about that's where, because why we are using the cloud is because scalability. Okay, any amount of data I wanted to store, because I don't wanted to worry about storage, I don't wanted to worry about my networking, I don't wanted to worry about my CPU, RAM, all of these things. All these things are scalable, sir. When I say scalable, today you use some amount of storage today, tomorrow you wanted to use almost 10 types of today's. Okay, in that case also it is fine. You can store it, you can use it. Even the RAM also. Today you have selected some, some 4 GB of RAM, but tomorrow you need it like 20 GB of RAM or 40 GB of RAM. So that is also available. Power, machine power is also available. So that is where we are now. That's the main reason that we are using a Google Cloud platforms. Yeah. Any other questions, guys?
Do you have any script? Through script also we can create a bucket?
Yes,
Like
through
Python
script
or
also we can create a bucket. So what we will do, while we were talking about this one, sir, data proc, or while we were talking about data flow, cloud composer. Anyway, at that time we are using a Python. Okay, so in the we will see how we are creating a bucket from the Python and how we are storing the data. So that we will see from there. Okay.
okay.
Yeah. So I want us to understand now. We now know what is a Google Cloud Storage, and we got some idea about, okay, this is what we talked about, a data lake and all, right? So let me tell you how to create an account today. We have time. Of course, yeah, one offline file can be stored in different buckets. Yes, we can store it. So you have a one file you wanted to store in a multiple buckets, that can be stored. And also I will tell you guys, this is not the thing. Okay, I just want you to understand that in the companies how they are using, I will tell you. Okay, so this is a requirement. For example, this is your bucket one, sir. Okay. You can think of this bucket one is your transactional bucket. Okay, and this is your archival bucket. We will be having a use cases or scenarios like that. We will be actually doing automating these kind of things. Think that this is okay. Sorry, this is bucket 2. Okay, in this bucket, so usually, sir, I am going. What I will have to do is like I have to send this data from the bucket to the BigQuery, a data warehouse. You can think of data warehouse. And with before doing that, I wanted to do some data processing. I am using some data flow. So what I am doing, sir, I'm doing this activity, I'm doing this activity. Okay. Once this entire activity, for example, from sales.csv. So this is a scenario, sir. There is CSV file, sales.csv file. I got a data from the business. Okay. There is a business is happening behind the scene. And from that business, I got a data and I am using a data flow for transformation and loading the data to the data warehouse. So once the data is there in the data warehouse in the form of a table, I don't need this file, right? I don't need this file to be here because once the processing is done, I wanted to move that file to automatically move that file from bucket 1 to bucket 2 because this is an operational bucket. This is a history bucket. All the tracking of the files will be stored here. So you will be able to move this file from bucket 1 to bucket automatically. So such kind of a scenarios we will see in our upcoming classes, how we are managing this kind of activities. Okay, it's not that I wanted to manually do it, sir. Once this pipeline is done, once the data is available in the data warehouse, I wanted it to be moved to the bucket 2. This is something that I am not available because think that we are not available all the time, right? So once the pipeline runs successfully, the file has to be moved from bucket 1 to bucket 2. So this kind of a scenarios are very important in the companies. And one more thing is like, so as soon as one file is created, so there is also one more requirement. As soon as the file is created in this bucket, I wanted to load that file into one more bucket as well, because I provide access to this bucket to many people. Okay, I provide access to many people, but I don't want anyone to touch this bucket. Because I don't want anyone to touch this bucket.